Well, here's a cargo steamer I caught all by itself on a nice, clear, calm day. I've got its course plotted out pretty good here, and it is, I believe it's American. Going pretty fast, probably like 11 knots. I haven't really checked yet, but we're in a good position to fire a couple at this guy. So it's 5,000 tons, and it's pretty long. We're gonna wait till she gets a little closer, check the speed. She's less than 3 kilometers away. She's about somewhere on this path, heading west-southwest, and we are just laying in wait. Time for the speed check. Not an ideal angle. That's okay. So it's got 3 king posts and sort of a mast on each of them, so I'm quite sure that's what this is here. Big funnel with a couple vents on either side. Looks like she's unarmed, so I'm really not worried about missing this thing. It should be basically a free 5,000 tons if we do this right. I'm gonna fire 2 torpedoes just in case we have a dud issue. And it looks like she's loaded up quite heavily as well. And fire.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
The only reason not to surface and use the deck gun is potential for aircraft, where... How far from the coast? 300 kilometers. It's not likely that there would be anything, but I guess we're playing it safe. Let's turn ourselves west and get ready to surface in case these shots miss or go off prematurely, who knows? Should maybe start reloading those tubes as well. Alright, let's take a look here. Any second now. There we go, right on time. Guess we judged the distance quite well, and the speed. Hit right where we were aiming. Forward bow within a 2-degree spread. She'll be going down from that 100%. So kinda strange, I never got a message saying she's going down or anything like that, but apparently just a few minutes after impact she did in fact go down. It says 1839, cargo steamer sunk, 5,500 tons, 5,400 tons, I guess. I wanted to watch her go down, but I was in time compression, so I missed it. But that's a solid kill. Nothing wrong with that. Hopefully it looked good with the better lighting instead of making a night attack like I'm kind of used to. So on OBS it doesn't really capture it that well in low light settings. Sea state's very rough, visibility's bad. I just sort of happened upon this large, looks like a British flag. I think it's heading northwest-ish toward New York. This is where we heard her, and we've just been listening on the hydrophones. I think it's going something like that. So I'm gonna point us, we are facing southwest, and I'm gonna ID this pretty quick here. I think I know what it is.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Neuer
She's
Kurs 216.
quite close. Loaded up quite heavily. Lots of cargo on board, and it looks like a gun on the stern. Is there? I don't know, but we're not going to be using our guns in this weather anyway. Flak guns near the main funnel there, 1 on each side. Maybe 2 on each side even. Yeah, there's no way we can engage this on the surface. Alright, let's take a look. You know what? She's going slower than I thought. Unless she's slowed down quite a bit since the weather's gotten worse. It was clear this morning. Wind started picking up earlier, and now it's just no visibility, heavy waves. So as weather gets worse, sometimes merchants will slow down or actually take damage from the sea state. That could be, but I don't know why she's going so slow now. Alright. Good, so 48 seconds.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Okay. So yeah, she's only going 6 knots now. I wonder... That's strange. She was definitely going faster earlier. I'm gonna set it to 6 knots. That is a little suspicious that she's dropped from probably somewhere around 9 down to 6. I'm not going to do a range check. I know she might be closer than a kilometer, but we're just going to fire here. Open tubes. Depth is set. Impact pistols. I hope this works out. Very likely that we have depth keeping issues here. I could get another tube ready just in case. I don't know if we'll need to fire a third or not. Yeah, looks like a flak gun on each side of the funnel. Forward, back, and both sides. I don't see any high caliber guns on the deck. Oh, there might even be a guy down there on the side with another flak gun. So she's got lots of little pom-poms. One hit aft. Oh, they hit roughly in the same place. Interesting. Well, we shouldn't need any more shots than that. 2 hits at the back like that. I think she'll be going down. Oh, yep, she's going down. We just got the message. That was pretty clean. Okay, so that's another 8,000 tons. 2 torpedoes, 8,000 tons. I will take that. Also, we're just closing in on New York here. I'm going to spend a day in CA-28. Then I'd like to go into the Gulf of Mexico this time instead of just hanging out on the coast. I would like to hit some big convoys this patrol, instead of just these one-off engagements. Local time, 2 p.m. Hearing something big coming from the New York direction. So closing at medium speed, probably 8 or 9 knots, relative bearing 56. Let's make a point of where we think he is. And I haven't checked surface conditions in a while, so we'll see what that looks like. Maybe he's about there. So I'm going to take us to periscope depth, and hopefully conditions have improved. Maybe.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Auf Seerohrtiefe gehen.
Did fire a couple of duds at a large merchant in the night without any success, so we're down to 2 aft tubes left, G7As. Lots of torpedoes in the front still, though, for this patrol. Depth under keel is 17 meters. Water's about 30-35 meters deep here. Pretty shallow. Looks like it's still pretty gray out there. We'll see in just a moment. Yeah, so big waves, clouds, and low visibility. Okay, I think she's within view. It took me out of time compression. I don't hear anything else around us. So a little over 300 degrees. I see smoke. Oh, yeah, that is a silhouette of a ship. Okay. Yeah, couple funnels. Not a tanker. Tall forward mast. Okay, yeah, she's just crawling out of the mist. That could be 2 or 3 kilometers away, so we'll try and ID her as she comes into view. Alright, I can see her pretty clearly now. That is a whale factory ship. Not the vanilla one. I don't know if there's a vanilla whale factory ship in Silent Hunter 3, but definitely in GWX there's a big one. But in the 1LX mod pack, there's another one with an actual whale on the back, which is kind of neat. And I think that's the only one with 2 side-by-side funnels like that, so they should be easy to ID. Yeah, so here it is in the manual. There's 2 funnels at the back, side by side. You can actually see the water being spat out. I don't know how good the resolution is on YouTube, but behind those funnels you can see a spray of water. That is the whale, which is a little weird. I don't know why it's shooting water out of its blowhole if it's like chained to the deck of the ship. You'd think it would run out of water. It's kind of goofy. Also, I mean, I don't want to set these torpedoes any deeper than 6 meters. One of the problems last time was I didn't have a depth keeping dud, I just had a contact dud, so it literally bounced off the bottom of the ship, and that happens when you set your torpedo to impact, and it's too low, so that basically the front of the torpedo doesn't hit the ship, the top of the torpedo does, because along with the bobbing, the ship will sort of rise up and then kind of body slam the torpedo, and then it just sinks and it explodes on the seafloor. So that's what was happening before. I'm gonna hope that doesn't happen this time. Let's set the depth to a little under 6. Both tubes, impact 5.8 meters. Hopefully that corrects the problem. But we've only got 1.5 meters to work with, and these are some big waves. Now, a way around that is to use magnetic pistol, but when the sea state's this rough, as we've seen, magnetic detonator tends to prematurely detonate the torpedo within about, well, less than a kilometer. So that's also disappointing. 171 meters long. And mark. Seems like she too may have slowed down a bit in this sea state. We'll see. Starting to be able to glimpse the whale at the back there. I see a fin. I see a blowhole. You'll be free soon, buddy. Assuming you survive the explosion. 48 seconds. Okay. 7 knots. Yeah, a little slower than we thought.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these things armed. I don't know if they can carry guns on board. I think it just might not be in the game's code. Yeah, there's Humphrey. Operation Free Humphrey. How deep
Jawohl, Herr
is the
Kaloin.
water?
Tiefe unter Kiel ist 2-1.
Shallow, still about 33-meter depth. Ish. One last range check, just to see how long it's going to take the torpedoes to get there. It is a 900-meter shot as it stands. Going to drop it to 8. Open tubes. actually
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
back up.
Kleine Fahrt zurück.
The angle's a little awkward here. Yeah, definitely Canadian. Sorry, boys. Today is not your day. Could even open up that spread a little bit more. Why not? Let's call it 3 degrees. All right, I think I'm ready. Torpedoes away. Seems a lot closer than 800 meters. Tail's flapping about. Yep, there he is. I wonder what portion of the tonnage counts as whale, if any. Let's see if I can listen. Oh, that's a dud. Just bounced off the bottom. And the other one sounds like it kept going. Yeah, so now it just detonated on the seafloor. Okay, so one went right under, the other one bounced. Gonna set another one to just 5 meters, a little more shallow.
Rohr 1. Aal ist im Wasser.
And another toward the back. I think she's weaving a bit now.
Aal ist im Wasser.
She may have spotted our periscope or maybe heard the explosion, I don't know. She seems like she's taking evasive action. Hard to tell with these things because they go so slow. If we have 4 duds here, I don't know what else to do aside from break contact. We can't use the deck gun in these conditions. Disappointing. This whale might be turned into lamp oil or whatever they do with whales. Come on. It's too bad that destroyers can't be alerted from the sound of torpedoes. They should be able to be alerted. That's pretty damn loud. Historically, they could. Okay, so it's safe to say both of those went right under. Now, I think what happened with those is the wind speed interfered. So since we didn't set them low enough to a low enough depth, they just went to a depth of 20 meters. If the sea state's rough and you don't set your torpedoes deep enough, they just drop to 20 meters-ish. And that's what happened there. So I don't know how I could have actually sunk this thing, because if I set them to the correct depth, it's too deep that they just bounce off the bottom of the hull because it's bobbing around so much. And then if I set them to magnetic, they'll go off early. Then if I set them shallow, they get a depth keeping issue because of the winds. So this thing is in that sweet spot where it's like borderline impossible to sink a ship because its draft isn't deep enough to hit, and then like we've just got duds from the sea state and all that. So kind of a mess. That is what really turns me off from Silent Hunter 3. Spend all this time figuring shit out. I basically don't make any mistakes in the setting up of the torpedo solution, but you know, you're down 4 torpedoes and nothing happens just because of, well, shit happens. Look at this poor guy. Now he's gonna go get chopped up or whatever they do with whales. Do people eat whales? I don't know. He could have been free. So yeah, that's frustrating. Really frustrating. Probably not the best viewing experience either, although I don't know if people really watch these to to see the explosions. Maybe it's something you just turn on and listen to while you do something else. But we're gonna get out of here. No tonnage from this. As it stands, we've spent we've spent a lot of torpedoes. 6 forward and 4 back. So 10 torpedoes spent, and all we've sunk is 2 ships for 13,000 tons. I was really hoping this patrol, I started a fresh one to try and hit tanker convoys. And I'm wasting my time dicking around up here. I'm just gonna go next plan. I'm not stopping for anything. Going straight south to Florida. Gonna hang out around here, and we're just gonna hit convoys. I promise. Oh dear. Aircraft spotted coming up behind us. It's just plotting a course to Florida-ish. Okay, so we know there are aircraft out this far now, within a 250-kilometer radius of New York, or maybe within 250 of the shoreline. I don't know. Shit, this thing gets under slowly. I wonder if I can take a look here behind us real quick. Wonder what it's armed with. I'm not gonna be able to see jack. It's deep here. I didn't even see the thing. Ooh, shit. Okay. I do enjoy a little bit of cat and mouse with the aircraft. The problem is they're just so bad at their job. Like, I don't know what American and Allied anti-sub plane weapons really consisted of, but in this game they're basically dropping depth charges. You would hope that they were able to drop like homing torpedoes and sonobuoys and things like that, but that's just not modeled in Silent Hunter 3. I believe it is modeled in Silent Hunter 4 though. When you play as American subs, there are Japanese torpedo bombers that will use, I think they're just straight run torpedoes, but I would assume that makes things a lot more interesting, although I haven't experienced it myself. Okay, well that's gonna make getting into the Gulf here a lot more difficult. There's Allied aircraft. I'm gonna rethink this. We're gonna go past Cuba here. That might be our better way in. I don't know what air cover's like down here in the Caribbean. Like, do these still count as British bases? If so, it could be really dangerous. I think there's a lot of tanker traffic that goes kind of like this. Maybe also past the east coast of Cuba, but we should find lots in here if we can get in. It's just so narrow. 100 kilometers shore to shore there. There's probably air bases everywhere. I don't know. That's what we'll shoot for. Well, a big storm has just came and went. We're getting not close, but relatively close. I mean, when we got bombed, we were 250 kilometers away from shore. We are 600 kilometers away from Cuba, but, you know, 250 away from these dubious island chains. I don't know how air bases work. Like, does it have to be close to the red word that says Guantanamo? Or does it just have to be close to land to count as an air base? I don't know. Or are there carriers around here? Anyway, the reason I'm concerned is because now it's finally calm. So I can reload these external torpedoes. Because we've only got 4 shots in the front until I'm well, and 2 in the back. I have no reloads, except for these that are all external, so they take like 45 minutes a pop to get out. So tonight I'd like to get all 6 of these unloaded so that we're ready for some larger engagements. Problem is, if we get caught in the middle of that, 5-hour operation, we have to move at about 2 knots on the surface, or just be stationary. So if there's anything out there with radar, they pick us up, it's gonna be bad news. So I'm gonna reload these, hopefully everything goes off without a hitch. I mean, we are kind of in the middle of nowhere, so I don't expect to get picked up, but it's always risky reloading external torpedoes. So here goes nothing.
Große Fahrt voraus.
Good news, that totally went off without a hitch. We spent however many hours that was reloading. It's now the middle of the night. It's still relatively calm out, and nothing found us. So we've got all G7As in reserve, and I'm happy with that. 10 forward torpedoes, 2 in the back. Let's see what we can do with 12 more torpedoes. Hopefully better than the current 13,000 tons that we're sitting at. I'd like to end this patrol with at least 40,000 tons, so we're going to need to find some big tankers. Tonight we'll, like tomorrow during daylight, we're going to have to transit submerged. I don't know what the air cover's like down here again, but it's very risky to be on the surface. I know for a fact there's a lot of American and British destroyers that escort convoys through here. So at the very least, we'll start seeing Allied warships soon. I mean, we're going to be within 60 kilometers of Guantanamo Bay, so I expect some sort of Allied naval presence. Nice little view here. The water's glass, the moon is just kind of on the, edge of the water. Kind of weird that I can see it slowly moving down, ticking like a clock. That's weird. But yeah, nice calm night. We are past Guantanamo Bay now, and we are in the clear. So this is good. This is ideal situation. We've broken into the Caribbean Sea. This is what our search pattern looks like. We're pretty far away from land now, so I think day and night we're going to stay on the surface here. And this should be a pretty good corridor to find some Allied oil shipping, I hope. So we were just spotted by an aircraft, and I'm a little disappointed because I was within 20 kilometers of a convoy, 20 to 30. They're coming right for us. It was a perfectly clear, sunny day, and usual miss. Ooh, it's actually rocking the boat. That's spooky. Quite a payload from that, I'm assuming, one naval bomber, but okay. I'm just trying to explain what was going on. So, anyway, I was undetected. I just happened upon a convoy. I wasn't able to make visual contact with it, but I happened upon this convoy that we were going to meet with anyway. I got a radio report saying, hey, it's coming right toward you, and it's like 30 kilometers away from your position. So, with or without the radio report, we would have seen these guys. Visibility was good, we were on the surface, and I turned to change our course so that we'd intercept them, like exactly the way I wanted to, and everything was looking promising. Finally, after many hours, we were gonna find an oil tanker convoy out here. And the game crashed as soon as they got within like 20 clicks of our sub. So it's just gone. And I've been looking for a convoy ever since, and all I've come across is destroyers and even aircraft out here. So I'm a little frustrated. We haven't taken any damage or anything. We're still sitting with our dozen torpedoes ready to go, but like it's March 27th, The last ship we sunk was March 4th. It's gonna be almost a month by the time we find anything, I'm sure. And at this point, like, we're just about halfway out of fuel. So yeah, things are frustrating in the Caribbean Sea. Like, I had a convoy in the palm of my hand. It was like the middle of March. And yeah, just game decided to crash. So I just wanted you to know that we could have had a cool engagement, but all I've been finding is destroyers and aircraft. At long last, we see something dead ahead.
Schiff gesichtet. Lage 359. Große Entfernung.
It's calm, it's soon to be dusk.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Let's see if we can classify this thing. Would be nice. Oh, oh. Tanker. Could it be? I mean, it's a lone tanker. I feel as though I deserve a convoy full of tankers to try my luck against. But I guess at this point, I'll settle for a single engagement. This thing could be unarmed. It's calm. It looks like it's by itself, so we're gonna use the deck gun. Because I've had it up to here with this game. So we're gonna pick up speed a bit and figure out which way this thing's going. 5,500 meters works for me. Oops. Short. There's a hit. Weird that the hydrophone's still going around listening, even though we're on the surface. Oh yeah, that was a perfect hit. Finally spending some of these 105 shells. I would let the crew do this, but the gunnery AI in this game is woeful. Like, it's absolutely terrible. Regardless of whether or not you have a gunner on board or just some random sailor, no one knows how to use the deck gun, it seems like. Well, we're igniting her cargo, it seems. Honestly, I'm glad we're sinking something at this point, but holy, like, you can't buy a convoy engagement. Now, historically, the Americans weren't even running convoy tactics on the East Coast for quite some time, so I guess that checks out, but I know they script convoys down here, so it's got me a little miffed that I can't seem to find any. See if I can make out a flag. Okay, let's let the gunner shoot, and we'll just watch it how inept he is. Fire at will.
Feuer frei.
Yeah, nice try, dude. If they were 500 meters away, that might have hit. How do you go from that short to having it dialed in? Like, you just need to have the right line, dude. I don't know. That thing's probably 120 meters long at least, and you can't shoot a decent line. Like, look at that! Where's that one going? I was just trying to see the flag. It is American by the look of it. I think. Okay, that's enough.
Feuer einstellen.
3,400 meters. Ooh, are we being fired upon? Thought I just saw or heard something fly by. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, she's going down. What was it? TMA1, 5,000 tons. See ya. Ooh. She's really burning up. You gotta appreciate these moments because they're few and far between. Okay.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Alright. Plane on us in the middle of the night. It's not good. Can't even see it. Boy. We spotted it when it was like a kilometer away. Wondering how it spotted us. Local time 7:30. Maybe it was just bright enough. Did we take any damage? Jeez.
Derzeitige Tiefe 2,0. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
It's still the night of us getting attacked here. Just about dawn, actually, now. We've been underwater since then. And I got a little bit of a game chug, and then we got a warship contact. So maybe this is a convoy. I haven't got on the hydrophones yet. Let's see. That's a convoy. Okay, so destroyer was... I really hope we can catch these guys. We heard the destroyer at 75. Probably about 20 kilometers away. It was calm last night. I hope that's still the case, even though it makes it harder to evade destroyers. Okay, 125, about 20 kilometers out. They are around here. So from hearing them at 0, I'm now hearing them at 350, which definitely means they're either going north or northwest. I'm tempted to surface, honestly. Let's see if I can see anything. Much brighter out now. Local time 5:40 a.m. Ooh, okay, there they are. Shoot. I'm gonna surface for just a moment. I don't know if we're gonna be close enough. They're pretty far out there.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Auftauchen. Vorne um 10, hinten kommen auch auf 5.
Schiff gesichtet.
Damn.
Schiff gesichtet.
Well, with the electric torpedoes, we definitely don't have range. I could fire off the back two, take a really long-range shot. We're not going to be able to close the distance with this much brightness. Nearest contact. 48, 10 kilometers away. 110. Okay, well, this is what I'm getting. So we're estimating their course is 327 degrees. If that's true, they'll come right for us. Speed is probably 14 knots. Now, sometimes you can get their intel by doing a contact report when you can see the convoy, which we're going to do now. And okay, we're not getting anything. We're going to have to drop to periscope depth
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Auf Seerotiefe gehen.
and just hope that they are coming for us. That's already, we're 5 kilometers, almost 6 kilometers away from their path. Yeah, this will be tough. We're only going to get one engagement on this convoy. We're not going to be able to chase them and do another engagement at night or during the day. They're just moving too fast. And there's no way we can close in daylight, especially with all the aircraft around here. So this is it. We're going to find the biggest targets, and I would like to try and do 1 torpedo per ship. So assuming we actually get close enough, tube 1 is 1 tanker, tube 2 is another, 3, 4, so on. So this is gonna be like our one chance. Then we've got enough ammunition for maybe 2 more engagements, and we'll head home. This has already been a month and a half patrol, so realistically, I don't think there were any patrols that were much more than 2 months. Could be wrong. Now, by the way, we heard these guys at 11:17 base time. It's now almost exactly a half hour later. So how I'm going to estimate their speed before I can get a better look at them is that destroyer was there. We heard them kind of... Sorry. The destroyer was... I don't know. I already measured it. He wasn't at this point. He was a little further. So that destroyer's moved about 11.5 kilometers in half hour. Now maybe I'm way off, but if I look at half hour here, 11.5. Okay, well that would tell me that they're going between 11 and 12 knots. So slower than 14.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus.
So right now we're gonna assume 12 knots. And I'm gonna take a look here. Now the good news is they have no idea we're here. Bad news is we might not have the range to hit anything. Oh, that would be tragic. Yeah, I don't think that is the lead destroyer. That's just some other one. Right now he's looking right at us, but I hope... Yeah, no, he's just weaving around. I don't think he's onto us. Is that the only destroyer? Okay, so furthest ahead ship I see is that one. It's a tanker. Line of tankers, and then there's this destroyer. So in theory, if I sunk this destroyer, and there's no other destroyers... Actually, I did hear another one somewhere. Yeah, there's one way out there. I was gonna say if we sunk the one destroyer, we could just surface use the deck gun and sink absolutely everything that way. That's assuming they're unarmed. But no, there's this one, and there's one way out there. I figured that out by listening. So we've got Convoy. That's the destroyer we can see clearly. That one over there is the other one. Can we hear anything else? No. Tough to say what to do here. Well, I guess we want to look for the biggest one. Usually in the middle, usually toward the back. It looks like probably that one or that one. We'll try to ID them as they get a little closer. Alright, it seems to me that this is what this is. The middle mast matches, the funnel matches, superstructure I think matches. 190 meters long, she's long. So I'm just gonna go for that with both tubes. I don't think I'm gonna get a better chance at anything else. 27 seconds, okay.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
Beide Maschinen langsam. Beide Maschinen machen langsame Fahrt.
We're gonna change our course, swing around, and fire the aft tubes. Now, let me just see here. So 190 meters long, 27 seconds, 13 or 14 knots. Well, which is it? I'm gonna say 14. I know we estimated earlier 11 or 12, but I'm not trusting that anymore. Okay, so this is the one we're shooting at. And distance of 4,500 meters. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame we didn't get just a little closer. We could use those forward tubes. Oh well, this is, if anything, it's the safer way to do it. In fact, I'm going to set this to medium speed because we don't need more than 7.5 kilometer range, I don't think. Yeah, much lower chance of a destroyer finding us at this range, but we're going to get way less tonnage. We'll get one ship if we're lucky. That's a big if. 14 knots. Say it's just under a 5 kilometer shot. There's our guy. Okay, so opening tube 6. Just about lined up. Fire one forward and one kind of back.
Rohr 6. Alles im Wasser.
There goes one.
Rohr 5.
And there's the other. Now we wait.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloy.
So yeah, that's it for our back tubes. But if we get 10,000 tons out of those, that would be awesome. If we could have closed to 3 kilometers, like that's the problem with these electric. Only a range of 3 kilometers does not give you much to work with at all. So what are we looking at? About 4 minutes for the torpedoes to get there. And in real life, in this calm of seas, those destroyers would likely, depends how fast they're going, they would likely hear those torpedoes coming from a long ways away, and the convoy would kind of scatter or take evasive action, and we wouldn't hit a darn thing. But this is Silent Hunter 3, so we'll see what happens. That's our target, tanker T3S2A1 type. Destroyer is not alerted. What about the other one? Way over there, minding his own business. I'm gonna drop the periscope, and when it's about 30 seconds to impact, I'll raise her back up. Man, there's a lot of good targets. It's too bad we're not going to be able to get ahead of these guys and re-engage them.
15.
Well, I mean, they might have been going 13 or 12 knots. Oh, torpedo impact. One hit on the bow. Hopefully that was the first one and the second one's coming, but I don't know. And a midships hit. Okay, so maybe 14 knots was a good estimate, and so was the course estimate. I don't see any massive explosions, unfortunately, but I think 2 will be enough to send her down. That was a very long shot. Like over 5 kilometers. Honestly, pretty lucky that we even hit that. I should drop the periscope now. I was hoping for a massive fuel explosion. That's okay. At this range, we're not going to get picked up by a destroyer, I don't think. Their star shells are way off course. But if you ever do get picked up by destroyers when water's this calm, and you're in a Type 9, which is like one of the loudest and biggest boats in Silent Hunter 3. I don't know how this is a Type 9C. Like the Type 9B is the loudest, I believe. But good luck getting away from a destroyer in glass water in a Type 9. Like it's just not going to happen unless you drop below 200 meters. And at that point, if you take any damage, you're probably going to get crushed. So, yeah, I'm not necessarily complaining that we had to take the shot from that far away, because it makes my job a lot safer. Not too long later, maybe 25 minutes, and she is going down. So it was a T3S2A1. 11,000 tons, 2 torpedoes. Now, how great would it have been if instead of just 2 torpedoes at one shot, at one ship, I could have used all 4 of these on 4 different tankers? I mean, that could have been like 40,000 tons in one engagement, but you can't always get what you want. So I'm gonna go back to periscope depth, take a look. We're not that deep. I haven't heard any sonar pings. I don't think anyone's anywhere near us. We're kind of parallel to their course. I hear, just a minute. Ooh, that destroyer sounds rather close at 85. Let's take a look. We're just gonna slip away. Maybe we can see this tanker going down in the distance, but she might already be under. Oh, lights are on. Destroyer doesn't look close at all. Yeah, they're all way off. No one even came anywhere near finding us. I think that's the one we hit right there. She's just very slowly sinking under. She's kind of in line with another tanker right now. But yeah, almost every tanker in this convoy is 10,000 tons-ish. So absolutely breaks my heart to let them go. I didn't identify a single flag, but let's be honest, these guys are not neutral. So GG, see you next time.